Hello and welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of sports. And it's time to break down more wild card football action with the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills. AFC East divisional showdown. Tim, you ready to get into it?
It's quite a game. Let's run it.
Yeah, from being 14-point favorites, the Buffalo Bills were, to only a
They were in
3-point
a
victory.
battle.
Yes, they were. They looked like world beaters coming out, taking a 17-0 lead, and then the Dolphins stormed right back, making it 17-17. And then in the second half, a flurry of scores here, flurry of scores there, and Buffalo came out on top 34-31. I think the most important thing to talk about, Josh Allen not looking like Josh Allen. His stat line in that game, 23 of 39, 352 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he added 4 rushes for 20 yards and 3 fumbles, losing one, which is very uncharacteristic for Josh Allen. And he said it himself. It was not his best game. He needs to do better. The only score that matters is the final one, which in a vacuum is correct. But when you're going to play Cincinnati the next week, Buffalo is definitely going to need to bring it.
Yeah.
They're going to need to bring it next week, make some serious adjustments.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 350 plus yards in the air is still great. Obviously, he got those 3 touchdowns, but the 2 interceptions, I mean, he's been working on trying to keep those interception numbers down, but the 3 fumbles is really where I think you start getting some deer in the headlights.
That's fumble, call it a triple whopper.
You can call it whatever the hell you want, but that causes some issues.
I'm not going to do it because of copyright.
No,
I don't want to get copyrighted.
Oh, please no. But the one fumble that he did lose that ended up being that scoop and score for the Dolphins. I mean, granted, a couple of them he get blindsided, so you have to look at the offensive line a bit there, because they've got to help him out. But I mean, as a quarterback, you got to try to keep your eyes everywhere. And you had a lot of great plays on offense from your receivers. Nice to see Gabe Davis get back in a good column in receiving yards with 113 yards and a touchdown. That one touchdown for awesome Gabe Davis
in his last like 3 or 4 postseason games. Gabe Davis has taken over the playoffs.
That one throw from Josh Allen to Davis in the corner of the end zone was beautiful, put in a perfect spot. And you saw some great things and you saw some iffy things. And talk about popping back out of nowhere. I really kind of forgot that Cole Beasley was back on the Bills until he just scored a touchdown. I was like, oh, hey.
Yeah, nice to see Cole Beasley doing his thing.
I mean, he made some.
You have
some
contributions from
stretch.
everywhere, like Dawson Knox with his one-handed catch for a touchdown. So the Buffalo Bills found a way to get the job done. On the other side, you could not ask for much more from the Miami Dolphins. Another team down to their 3rd-string quarterback, Skylar Thompson, and they stayed with him. They made it a challenge. And look, what are you going to do? It's the largest margin of spread in wildcard history. You're 14-point underdogs. You're limping into the playoffs, and it's a 1-score game, and you're with them till the very end. You know, Skylar Thompson did about as well as you could, 18 of 45, 220 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. But, you know, like what more could you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely the lesser talked of the 2 rookie quarterbacks that we have in the playoffs. And I mean, when you ask a kid like that to pass the ball 45 times against a defense like the Bills, I mean, it's not exactly the best recipe for success. But once again, he put up everything that he really could. You get the ball to your playmakers and just kind of let them go. But for them to put up 31 points when only having 220 through the air, and not having a fantastic game on the ground as well, they really did everything that they could, especially with that scoop and score and the way that their defense forced those turnovers. But yeah, I mean, it's tough when you have that many injuries, and that's one of the things I had mentioned, the predictions, where it was rough seeing some of these teams have so many key injuries heading into the playoffs. That's definitely affects the way that you play. But
I mean, we thought it was going to be Teddy Bridgewater, but Teddy Bridgewater is always hurt. Tua with his concussions, which is definitely going to be the main focus for the Dolphins heading into the offseason. But Teddy Bridgewater had a dislocated pinky that he couldn't quite pop back into place and get ready to go. So you hand it over to your 3rd string and say, hey, here's one of the best teams in the AFC on the road. Good luck, kid. Yep. And he filled in pretty admirably. But the Dolphins are nothing more than a bunch of dead fish. And the Buffalo Bills are going to rematch the Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC divisional round.
Yep.
So we will be looking forward to predicting and
That'll
breaking
be a
that
fun
down.
one.
But that's all we got for the Dolphins and the Bills AFC wildcard matchup. We're going to be breaking down the rest of the wildcard matchups and so much more as the postseason goes along. So if you want more from us, like and subscribe. And until next time, we out.